was not like any other. It felt as though something extraordinary was about to unfold within the palace. A bitterness took root in his heart toward the Prophet, and it only grew deeper when, in the midst of his escape, tragedy struck. His sister, Safana, was taken captive. Writer, where is your attention? Tell me about Ali and the way he governed. By God, Ali ibn Abi Talib was a man of vision and strength. By God, it is I who was not fair to my master. My eyes had filled with tears. Ādī's powerful words had drawn tears from the tyrant ruler of al-Shām. It was the palace of al-Khaḍrāʼ, though it wasn't truly green. I'm speaking of what lay beneath its surface. You could almost smell the public wealth lingering in its air. That day was not like any other. It felt as though something extraordinary was about to unfold within the palace. Lost in these thoughts, I suddenly saw an old man enter, a wound marking his eye. There was something strikingly familiar about him. And then it hit me. Yes, I knew him. How much he had aged, his hair completely white. And yet, with that blind eye, his presence felt even more powerful. What is he doing here? In the palace of Muawiyah. He was the chief of the tribe of al-Tai. His people were idol worshippers. But at that time, he himself was a Christian, though he kept his cross hidden. But his name, behind the name of this beloved old man, lies a world of stories and love. ʿAdī. As I waited for Muawiyah I to enter, my mind drifted on a brief journey into the glorious past of ʿAdī. In the 9th year of Hijrah, in the region of Jabal al-Tai, the powerful army of Islam reached his tribe, and he, unable to resist, fled toward the lands of al-Shām. A bitterness took root in his heart toward the Prophet, and it only grew deeper when, in the midst of his escape, tragedy struck. His sister, Safana, was taken captive. Just imagine, a brother flees and leaves his sister behind. But destiny had something else written, a fate I can't help but envy. Not long after, against all odds, Safana returned, with dignity and honor, yet carrying chains. But those chains were meant for ʿAdī. And she returned with a message, clear and unforgettable, for ʿAdī and for history itself. He is a prophet of mercy. When I was taken captive, I stood before the Prophet 3 times, speaking of dignity. And on the 3rd time, I witnessed it. I tasted true humanity. There was someone beside him who, at a subtle gesture, encouraged me to ask for my freedom once more. And for the 3rd time, the Prophet, in the height of generosity, accepted. You must go to him, O ʿAdī. If he is truly a prophet, then be the first to serve him. And if he is a king, you will rise under the shade of his justice. ʿAdī went to meet the messenger of God. And when he witnessed the Prophet's kindness, his simple way of life, and the way he sat among the people, he realized this was no kingdom. This was something far beyond, something of the unseen realm. It is narrated from him that the Prophet said, O ʿAdī, do not let the poverty and financial weakness of the Muslims today hold you back from embracing Islam. A day will come when the wealth of the world will flow toward them so abundantly that no one will even desire to gather it. By God, a time will come when Islam will spread across the world and women will travel alone to visit the Kaaba without anyone daring to harm them. Yes, this is ʿAdī, the son of Hatim al-Tai. He was once a captive of the Prophet, but the chains that Safana had brought back became for him bonds of love and loyalty to Amir al-Mu'mineen. The day Ali ibn Abi Talib stood in Rahba and called upon the people to bear witness to the hadith of Ghadir. Adi rose, and he testified. And now he stands here, right before me, in the palace of Muawiyah I. What is he doing here? My hand trembled. His name brought back the memory of Hujr ibn Adi. I only hoped that today his fate would not mirror that of Hujr, though even if it did, he would still be victorious and redeemed. I was lost in my own thoughts when Muawiyah I suddenly spoke. "Writer, where is your attention?" "Yes, my lord, I was lost in the grandeur of your presence." "Yeah, sure I was," I muttered under my breath. Muawiyah was about to begin a dangerous game. I knew Adi, quick-witted, fearless. There was no doubt Muawiyah's move would backfire. Muawiyah said, "Where are your sons?" The response came sharp and unshaken. "They were martyred, fighting for Ali." With a bitter smile, Muawiyah said, "Ali was not fair. He kept his own sons safe and sent yours to the sword." Adi answered, firm, unshaken, "By God, it is I who was not fair to my master. He was martyred, and I am still alive." His wounded eye bore witness to the truth of his words. When others were deceived by the Quran raised on spears, he stood firm beside the Imam of his time. At Siffin, Adi turned to the people and said, "O people, Ali ibn Abi Talib does not give an order except with clear proof and undeniable truth. He fought the Nakithin because they broke their pledge, and he fought the people of al-Shām because they chose the path of oppression. If you seek a measure of true merit, he surpasses all others in every way. If knowledge of the Quran and the Sunnah of the Messenger of Allah is your standard, then he is the most knowledgeable. And in embracing Islam, he was the first. In asceticism and piety, he is unmatched in devotion. If you measure by intellect and wisdom, he stands above all. And in nobility and lineage, he is the most honored. And if your measure is the pledge of the people, then the Muhajirun and the Ansar chose him." Then Muawiyah ruined the moment again and snapped, "Writer, are you asleep?" "No, my lord, I was just comparing the pure scent of truth with the stench of falsehood," I murmured quietly. Muawiyah said, "Tell me about Ali and the way he governed." Adi replied, "It would be better if you excuse me from this." But Muawiyah refused. Then Adi began to speak of the merits of Ali, and as his words flowed, a chill ran through my entire being. By God, Ali ibn Abi Talib was a man of vision and strength. His words were rooted in justice, and his judgments were nothing but truth. An ocean of knowledge surged within him, held within the shores of his being. He turned away from this world and its deceiving glitter, and found comfort in whispered prayers through the night. He wept often. He reflected deeply, and in solitude he held his own soul to account. He wore rough garments and lived a life of hardship. Outwardly, he was no different from the people. He answered all our questions and fulfilled our needs. And even as he brought us close to him, his awe, almost heavenly, remained. Yet we never felt afraid to speak or to ask him anything. In his rule, the powerful would not even dare to think of oppression, and the weak would never lose hope in his justice. My eyes had filled with tears, and yet I could hardly believe what I was witnessing. Adi's powerful words had drawn tears from the tyrant ruler of al-Shām. And truth be told, remembering the way and character of Abu al-Hasan is something that moves every heart, even one as hardened as his. And though he had no true belief, he said, "Yes, Abu al-Hasan was indeed like that. Now tell me, how do you endure being separated from Ali?" ʿAdī said, "Like a mother whose child has been killed in her arms, her tears never dry, and she never forgets her child." And he added, "Today, more than 1,000 years have passed since that meeting. The palace of al-Khaḍrāʼ has crumbled, and Muawiyah lies forgotten in the darkness of his grave. But the voice of ʿAdī still echoes through history, calling out to those who truly hear with this message: Do you defend your Imam the way I defended mine? Do you carry his absence within you like a grieving mother carries her loss? Are you restless, yearning for the reappearance of your Imam?